Hello, everybody. It is Art After Dark Live. Hello, how's everybody doing today? It is Sunday. It's a beautiful Sunday. There's a little bit of snow going on. I have a packed show for you today. I have a new Planet of Facts, a really good fun game of Would You Rather. Most importantly, we're going to paint this little guy today. A little ladybug and a little cute firefly here. Where is he? There he is. So that's going to be really cool. Let me just get over here for a second. Okay, let's switch to this. So, we'll just start this off with what colors we're using and paintbrushes. Again, the paintbrushes I'm using. Happy Sunday. It is a good happy Sunday. I could see your chats. And I think this is going out to Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. I hope it is. But I'm trying some new stuff. I had quite the week. I had a day. I had an isolation day, which was crazy. Where I just had it. I was like, ugh. I guess we're allowed one of those. But anyways, paintbrushes. Here's my wash brush. This is going to be the guy who's doing most of the stuff, right? 3/4 inch wash. You just want a big paintbrush so you can get in and fill a lot of stuff going on here. And then a round brush. That's so we can get some details. And then I also have a little shader brush too. So that's going to help me get in and fill some colors and stuff. I actually, before I started this, I had one of my lens crap out on me. So a big thank you to my neighbor. Dropped me off his camera and some gears. Randy, thank you so much. If you are watching this for like a rewatch, something really fun you could do, you can do a watch party. So see in the bottom right corner there, you can go over and start that, and you can have your own little party, chat with your friends, have a good time. The other thing, if you have a smart TV or anything, you could go to YouTube and bring that up, and then yeah, watch it on the big screen. Holy moly. So, colors. Let's get to this. The colors I'm going to use, I'm putting this up right here. It's probably washed out, but I'm just using a green. Any greens and blues. These colors don't really matter as far as, you know, the specifics. You just want a blue, a green, a yellow, and then a white and a black. We're going to use a red for our ladybug, obviously, but those are our colors. I'm going to show you some mixing. We're going to learn some stuff. While we're doing the painting, you want to make sure that you don't have your paint really thick. That's important, because then it just gets sticky, and then we're doing an illustration, so we're not going for like abstract texture and stuff like that. You want to make sure that you see whatever you're painting on, you can see the texture of it, and keep it thin. It'll dry quicker, and then we can have a little bit more fun with that, move quicker, and all that. I did, if I move to my canvas cam here, I did actually prep it with like just some blue to get rid of the white, so I could actually, you don't have to battle the white while you're doing these dark colors and stuff like that. So that makes it a lot easier. Did you guys have a good week? I see in the chats, I had a pretty good one going on here. I just want to see if this is rock and roll and checking out the thing on the bottom corner. How about we start this off with a little bit of wine time? Cheers! I got my delicious beverage going. It's bubbly, and it's in a mystery cup. So are these chats going on? I can't see if anyone's talking right now, but someone shoot me a little chat so I can make sure this chat box is working. I'm gonna go high. There we go. All right, delicious. I wonder if I could put this in, but I'm just checking one thing on my stream to make sure that this is good. And then we're gonna rock and roll. Do you have your paints ready? Okay, it is happening. Good. I just had to confirm because the worst thing would be is to do this and then I find out that it didn't actually stream live. That would be terrible. So I'm just going to pull up a picture of this little guy in the top corner here. Here he is. This is our Ladybug and Firefly. This was a digital painting that I did, so and you can tell it's a little bit more green too. The painting that I did do after I made that was a little bluer. You can see that, which is okay. Everything's going to be a little different. So let's cut to this. We're going to build the background of this first. Hi, Angela. I'm ready too. Okay, they're coming in now. Perfect. I could see this. I think my texting is a little slow. It's a little laggy. We're going to build this from the background right up to the front. So, way to do this is, holy moly, you're not going to believe what I did. I just put my paintbrush in my magic drink. They're both red cups. I should not do that. Okay, here we go. It is Sunday. I love Sunday. And I could go a little easier today because I have two batteries in this camera going on. So one of the problems was I didn't have a direct external power source to it, so I was dying. Hi, Drew. Hi, Kelly. How you guys doing? Okay, so front to back. I'm going to do a little bit of a lighter color here, and I'm going to show you as I'm doing this. I'm going to mix a little bit of this blue and green. Actually, I'm just going to go blue with a little bit of yellow in this. I'm sporting one magic drink Shane right now. That's it. Just one. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit of white. One of my little rules when I'm mixing is I just grab a little bit of water and then I just test a small area before you throw it in and see that you have your color. That way you're not wasting paint. You can see what you're coming up with. And acrylics do dry a little bit darker, a wee bit darker. So I'm going for something just a little bit lighter. This is going to be in the background. I'm going to shrink this guy up a wee bit. I might put him down here for now. And so in this area, this is where I want it to be a little lighter. And I'm just going to kind of give it a little cover because what we're going to do is we're going to come back and we're going to paint our darker color into it. The first layer of the darker color. So I'm mixing a little bit more yellow into that blue to get it just a little bit more greeny and some white. And you can see through it right now. I watered it down a little too much, I'd say. So this is going to be back in here. Now that might be a little bit too bright, but everything's going to be different. I think that's the cool thing whenever I do these events. Everybody's painting is different. It's like their signature. Now as I'm putting this on, see how I'm kind of stroking in these little zigzaggy patterns. I'm trying to get rid of some of the brush strokes so I can't see them as much. And that's kind of that little light color in there. I actually like that. It's a little bit more greeny. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in here. I'm going to come in and start to make some foliage kind of coming in. Kind of like that. I'm going to create it walking up into that. That's not what I'm doing though. I'm just showing you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to kind of close this in kind of around it so that it looks like there's some leaves and big bushes kind of popping in there. This will be a little bit of a darker color. The other thing that I think would look a little nicer too is, if I go back, I'm going to show you this. If I kind of bring in this area and darken it up as it comes into the center, so it gives this area a little bit more light. That'll make it pop a lot more if I add that in. So I'm going to try to do that to this one. I'm going to mix my colors on the edge a little darker and then lighten them up as I come to the center, especially for the background. As soon as we bring this stuff up to the front, then we could play around with that darkness of the colors. So just so you know, when you're using your white, that is your tint. That kind of pastels out your colors. When you use a black, that's your shade. So it darkens up your colors. It's like the shadow. But what we're going to be using a lot is grays. So that's your tone. That's how you can really get some nice stuff going on here. So you're just adjusting a wee little bit as we're altering these colors and how dark it is or light and the saturation, right? Just so that there's a little bit of a difference. Now you can see right in here, there's a bit of a difference. If I go over here, you might be able to see it. That probably isn't enough just to get the effect that I want. So I'm going to make this a little darker just by adding some more blue to that color I was using. I'll check it out in there. That looks okay. That could kind of do that effect that I want. Let's see. It's not bad. Maybe just a wee bit more. Remember, it does dry a little darker, and we want to keep like the effect going so that when we get to our foreground, we have a lot of room to play with. If this gets too dark too fast, it's gonna take away a lot from when we do our foreground and bring in all those cool little vegetation spots. So look how I'm using my brush. I'm using the corner of it, the edge, to get a nice little line. And I'm using the other edge, and then you can just kind of pull it down. And there I have like a nice little leaf there, right? Same with this. I can do that there. I can do this guy. I'm just kind of building in these cool little leaves. Like stuff would be hanging down. I could do some little stuff in there too, just kind of mix it up a bit. Could bring that one down a little lower. I'm going to add some lights into it after too, just to give it a little bit more character, I would say. But that's looking kind of neat. I might give this a little kick up. It looks like there's some little bit of a sparkle here happening to on the paint. Okay, what we got going on? Checking out the chat. How are we doing? Is everybody painting along? Having a time? I'm having a time. I actually tried out that house party app with the guys in the band last night, which was so much fun. If you have a chance to try it, you could play games with your friends, a whole bunch of stuff. But it was cool to catch up and be like, hey, what are you doing? How's life? And then we played Pictionary, trivia, some other stuff. It's pretty cool. Jody, you don't have any paint supplies? I am, now that I got this all built up, I am working on little packages for these things. So when the event will go up a little earlier now, so at least a week in advance, and then I'm going to make a package, and then my friends are going to distribute them. They're actually doing it with their other stuff right now too. And yeah, so you'll be able to buy like a package specifically for each painting that we're doing. So you can get the colors that I'm using, you can get your paintbrushes, and the canvas and stuff, right? So we could kind of make it, if you have your paints, you don't need it, but maybe you want some canvas and some different brushes and stuff. So can you see how I'm kind of bringing this in here, right? It's all kind of turning in. There we go. I just had to turn that a little bit and got rid of that flare. Although the angle is a little different for me. That could be just kind of mix this in there. We're gonna lose a lot of this after when we start bringing in our foreground and stuff like that. Okay, so there we are. I'm gonna color in this edge, and yeah, I couldn't believe it. My little 50 mil pancake guy, which was a great canvas cam lens. I think the motor in it just shot or something because I can't focus it. So if anybody has any interesting camera skills, let me know. Okay, so I'm still using that color. I'm going to darken this edge up just a wee bit as we get in there. And I'm probably, you can see how dark it dried already compared to the background. Now I'd say that's too extreme compared to my first one. So what I might actually do is come back into the center and just darken that up a little bit so we can make it look like that looks pretty bright for this kind of night shot going on. So we're gonna bring this right down. As we're getting down to the bottom, we can actually do some more little stuff here. We can darken it up a little bit more. I want to get to the edge. Move this out of the way. If anybody watching on YouTube, I can't tell what is happening here, but it's pretty cool, man. Technology rules. I just love it. Hello, Maureen. And tell Georgia I say hi. Is she painting along? I hope she is. Having fun. We're going to do some ladybugs. We're making some backgrounds. And we're doing fireflies. Some of my favorite things to paint. If you've ever been to a class, I will pull out fireflies whenever I can. because it just really adds to it. Okay, so you can see we're getting some cool color on here. I'm going to come in and darken that up right now, actually. So I'm just going to use the color that I had and just a wee bit of white in it. You can see that I'm just pulling that in, and that's too bright. A little bit more blue. That should be a little better. Hey, Pennsylvania, how is it going? Holy, that's awesome. Okay, darkening this up a wee bit. Here we go. Just I didn't like how bright it was. And this doesn't have to be super specific, but I'm using the edge of my brush to kind of cut in to these little areas here. And that'll give us the effect of the foliage in the background, right? Maybe some little nice light flares. If anything, it'll make it look pretty cool when we're done. All right, last time I asked if anybody picked up any new skills or like hobbies or been learning anything, maybe learning a second language. We have all this time to do stuff. It's really quite interesting when you think about it. But being stuck at home, man, it starts to get a little funky. We're super social species, and taking that away is a little bizarre. But we're doing good. Painting away, drawing pictures, hanging with family, playing board games, reading books, watching Tiger King. Apparently this is the biggest show in the world right now and meme generator. Can't say that I watched it all. I think I had it in the background while I was doing stuff, and yeah, it kind of just stayed in the background. Okay, so I got a little messy here. I'm going to cover this up and fix it. This is fun because I can actually kind of chill. What do we got? Nice. Calligraphy is a lot of fun. My penmanship is terrible. I wish I was better at it. But no, again, I'm just coming in and kind of fixing some of these areas that I didn't like. I thought it was too light. It's not going to be, and notice I'm actually changing some of these too. I'm just going over it quickly. We're going to start building the bottom layer. A little bit more paint going on. You sure did. Okay, here we, oh, that went way green. That's okay, whatever. That could be some like light coming through. Something like that. Okay, so we got some stuff. That'll look pretty interesting in the background. Now I'm going to bring this down here. I'm going to darken that up a little bit down to the bottom. I'm going to grab some more paint. I'm just grabbing my blue. I'm using an indigo blue, actually. I really, really enjoy that color a lot. Remember, you can add some yellow to it to put a little bit of a bluey green in there. That's kind of what we want to do. Some cool little mixes. It's nice. Now in this part too, you can also do some little foliages. Foliages, I like that word. I could come in and kind of pull something in like that. Right? There's a lighter piece, so it looks like there's some big leaves kind of hanging out in the background. You can do that after. As you get some color on, you can play around with it. I'm going to drag this right down to the bottom. That is my goal. And again, we're just darkening it up a little bit. Right. How many people in the chat have actually seen real fireflies? I remember the very first time I saw a firefly. I was on tour, and I think we were in Ontario somewhere. And it was a little lake. And then all of a sudden, these little light flashes started going on. I was losing my mind. I was like, what is this? What is happening? It was beautiful. It was the coolest thing ever. And then actually this summer again, we saw some fireflies. And where were we? Can't remember exactly. Was it this summer? But it was pretty cool. They are very cool. Fireflies are absolutely amazing. You're gonna love the a planet of facts I made today. It's pretty special. It's about some little ladybugs, some fireflies. Okay, so I got this going on. You can see how I kind of darken it up. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to add some other little kind of foliage into this. I'm just going to use a little bit of a darker color. I haven't added any black to this either. I'm just using the colors. If your blue isn't dark enough, you can add a little bit of black to it, but really don't add a lot. Do not add a lot. It'll get too crazy too fast. Okay, so right in this area, I'm going to use my brush again, the edge. I'm going to come in and then I'm going to swoop out. So that will look like a cool little leaf after, kind of poking through into the scene. Right? And this stuff, there's going to be other stuff hiding in the background and foreground as we're going. I'm going to bring some nice leaves coming down from the top area. I can actually pull one in from here, might be kind of cool. And then we're going to kind of let that sit. There we go. So that is looking pretty fun right now. I wish this glare was off of that. Okay, so let's wash off our brush. How are we doing for speed here? Is everyone keeping up? Am I going at the right speed this time? Hopefully. I have a little sip of my magic water. All right. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we're going to start bringing in some of those leaves coming into the frame actually. So what we can do is we're going to use like that darker color. If you look at the picture, we're going to pull this up here. If we look right in here, we have this kind of blue color coming in before we get to this really dark color in the foreground. So we're going to build all these little leaves and kind of decorate the edge, and we're going to make it really cool. Please slow down, Sandra. I think that what we can do is you can't necessarily pause it, but you can take the slider and then you could rewind it a little bit if you need to look at something again. I got paint on my thumb. Who has paint on their thumbs? I love those little smiley faces. They look so cute in this little chat thing. Oh, I almost grabbed my magic beer in its container. I mean water. Okay. All right, canvas cam. Just trying to get it on background. This isn't super fancy. Nothing too bonkers, right? So, let me turn this to here a little bit. Now what I want to do is I'm going to use that same color. This is going to be a little different when you're making these leaves. I've gotten okay at using my wash brush to kind of come in and cut in these leaves. Now what I do with it though is that I'm just using the edge again. If I'm going to do like a little leaf, remember this will be a darker color again. I'm just going to do one right on the edge here. So what I would do is I would come in and I would cut this in, and then on the bottom I just kind of pull it out, and then we have a nice fancy little leaf there, right? Nice tight edge, which is what we want. And if you can't use your wash brush like that, you can always use your little shader, like this little guy here, and you could do the same thing. You can use that like a darker blue. And you could come in and cut it, the edge, and then you could just fill it in, right? So that's a really easy way to do these big leaves. What you don't want to do is use your liner brush or your round brush, these tiny little guys, and then come in and then fill in your whole leaf. We could do that with little ones, but for big ones, we want to get used to these brushes, right? These brushes have the two planes on it. You have this nice sharp plane, and then you also have the big plane on it as well. 16 degrees on Vancouver Island. Thank you, Amy. I like those spring vibes. We were snowing today for a little bit here. It was a nice snow. Actually, yesterday it was like a snow shower kind of thing. The sun was out, but it was snowing. It was so pretty. It was pretty neat. Okay. It is relaxing to watch. Thank you. It is pretty fun. It's fun to paint. It totally gets you out of your headspace and into some new little magical area for a little bit, right? So what I'm doing here, I don't have my canvas or palette cam set up because Amazon is super slow on their deliveries right now, and I had to order a bunch of cables and different stuff here. So there's my colors. I'm mixing up a little bit of a blue in there. 74 in NC. What is that in Celsius? I'm in Canada. Snowing hard here. Spruce Grove. That means it's snowing here. Okay. So we're going to create these leaves on the outside. What we want is these leaves are going to come up from the bottom. If you look at the photo, that's all the second dark area there. Right? They're going to come up on these edges. We're also going to bring in some from here. We're going to try to make it kind of get into the scene because our focal point is going to be on our ladybug and our firefly, right? So this is a fun part. If we're doing little branches, I'm going to do this little branch here to show you how to just kind of float this in. I'm just going to use the edge of my brush and I'm just going to kind of cut something a little bit fun. There's a little bit of a line, right? Now, I could do another little slopey guy from over here if I like too. And this will just give me something to go off of as I'm going, really. I'm just cutting this in. There we go. Making sound effects helps a lot when you're painting, I find. And then I'm going to do something down there as well. So I might add a wee bit of white, and then I'm going to add in a tiny bit of black to get a gray going on. That would be my tone. And by tiny, I mean just a smidge. Especially, I'm using a golden fluid acrylic, and this stuff is super, super opaque. It will eat your paint. You add a little bit of that black to it, and everything goes black. I've seen it. One of the fun, always mix a little bit too, just to see if you like your color. And I'm going to try this color right in here, just to see. I'm going to move this up so you can see me work in this area. I'm going to come in and do a nice little leaf, just to see what the color looks like. So there's a nice big leaf right in the corner there. Actually, I like that color. That's a nice color. It'll dry a wee bit darker, which I'm okay with. And I'm going to just keep on using my paintbrush. I'm flattening it out as I'm grabbing my paint, getting it on the edges, and making sure that the bristles are kind of are flat and staged into each other. I'm going to do another one right here. And then I'm going to give him a little buddy up in here. And let's just say that this is kind of coming off this way like that. This guy can have another little thing poking out. There we go. Then we could continue to kind of decorate this stuff here, right? And pull that in. Keep on going, keep trucking, making some leaves and stuff. Leaves and grass. We're gonna imagine that he's kind of sitting up in or Ladybug's kind of sitting up in a tree, right? So I could do a nice little thing up here, or a twig. He'd just be on a twig close to the ground. I don't know. Where are you imagining your little ladybug? My little ladybug is in a warm forest, summertime. He's, or she, I don't know, what is it? He or she. Just cute, whatever it is. I've actually always wanted to do this painting at one of my live events, or something like it. But sometimes, you know, you get a lot of people to character and pop culture art classes. These are some of the funner ones I find, because you really get to kind of explore your background and create these really cool kind of vibey fun paintings. So this is kind of doing this nice flare out. I'm actually enjoying these little leaves here. I'm going to do a couple little guys kind of poking up like this. So I can use the same brush and just do some smaller little leaves here like that. Do a little one here, one here. Yep, 30 degrees in Aussie land and in quarantine. It's a good thing you're learning how to paint a llama. There, so I did some tiny little ones. And I'm going to do some more in this corner here. I might do a little loop of like a kind of leaf pulling up and over. I think that'd be nice. Remember, you could always, if your paint start to get a little sticky, just add a tiny bit of water to it. Washing off your brush helps too, because you'll get little gremlins kind of hiding up in your bristles, and then you could kind of get a nice fresh start with your brush again. I call them gremlins. Love Gremlins. Is anyone else Gremlins fans? One of my, probably the best Christmas movie ever. And it is a Christmas movie. He got Gizmo for Christmas. Cool. So this got a little bit more bluey as I moved to this edge, which is kind of cool. It giving us a little bit of a variation in our color. So just continue along to build these little leaves. I'm going to do a couple big guys here. And then I'm going to come in and change it up with my my wash brush, actually. Okay. There we go. So you could see that I have a specific way to paint these guys. Which side is better for me, right? It's like writing. You put your hand down. You're going to move him over again. There we are. Okay. Oh, let's do some more. And again, we're just building this up, right? Add a little bit of yellow to there. Maybe a hair of white. I got that leaf going that way, so I'm going to build him doing this way. You can highlight that a bit too. Sorry, I'm going to get in here with my elbows. And I'm going to cut that end like so. Fun little leaf. Okay, I'm going to switch up to my little round brush now, actually. Not my round brush, my shader brush. So I could do some more little tiny leaves on these branches coming out. Same idea. Just gonna cut them in. That's fun. Okay. And if you want, it's cool. You could share your progress in the chat too. It's fun to kind of look at where everybody is. If you have a question, I'll totally be able to answer it, I hope. So you could just add it in the comment section. I'll take a look and give suggestions, or we're all just learning, right? I'm learning every day on what to do here, and you know, painting is one of those things. It's like music. You're always learning. That's fun about this stuff. The arts learning is cool. Okay, so I switched up to my little shader brush here. And now I'm going to start to kind of build some tinier little leaves in here. Same idea, I could cut her in and then bring it back out. -7 today. That's like a balmy day here in Alberta. A wild Janny Puff. I don't know what that is. I think that's from Twitch or something. It's my first time streaming all these, so it's like it's been a learning experience for me, I'll tell you that. But holy man, is this going to be fun. It's fun that I get to share this with you. So I'm building these little leaves. That's what we're doing here. I'm going to add a little bit more white and some yellow to my green, or my blue. I'm still working in this little dirty area of my dirty palette. I'm pretty messy. Okay, so that's a little transparent. So what I did is I added a little bit more of that gray tone, a black and a white to it, just so I can get it kind of filling in there a little bit more, right? It's not so transparent. Okay, then I'm going to build up these leaves kind of moving up to the top here, right? It's going to make some more individual little leaves, just kind of bring them down. And what's going to look really neat is when we do our foreground, because it's going to look like there's a lot of depth to our painting. All right. There we go. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep on bringing in some of these. Brittany Meaver, how you doing? We got Janny Puff is on here from Twitch. Cool. Angela from Angel Canadian from Twitch. Got some Canadians. Yeah, where's everybody from? We have someone from Pennsylvania, Australia, Canada, Edmonton. That's where I am. I'm up north in the Canada area. Okay, so I'm coming in again. We're going to be painting some more individual little leaves. This is our kind of our second little layer of all this stuff kind of moving in. This kind of got a little pointy for me. See how it all kind of came in? I could have came in and done some leaves that moved out the other way just to kind of change it up a little bit, right? But we could fix that after. That's kind of the fun thing with painting. You can always come in and fix it. But one thing with acrylic paints is, and paints in general, is matching a color. Matching a color is sometimes kind of hard, especially when it dries. That's the thing with acrylics. It dries a wee bit darker. So when you come in to match the color, you want to be a little bit lighter than what you're going for, and then hopefully you hit the mark, right? Yeah, just keep on putting leaves. Keep on making this full. All right. What's your, anybody have any fancy beverages going on? Old fashions. What are those called? Cosmos, I think. Martinis. Mine is not fancy. I'll tell you that. Okay. That is a weird looking leaf, but I'm going to leave it. Because sometimes there's weird looking leaves. Maybe he got eaten by a little caterpillar or something. I don't know. You can make any little story up while you're making your painting. And then it sticks. That is the story of your little painting. Okay, I'm going to give some little dudes in here. And maybe I should bring this over just a wee bit this way. Could kind of drag this down a bit. Do a couple more leaves to kind of decorate this. Raspberry iced tea. That sounds delicious. Here we go. It's kind of pointing into each other, so I might drop this down a little bit and give it another little leaf. Okay, here we are. Starting to look like something. We have a little bit of foliage going on. I'm going to try to recreate this color right in here and just add a different layer so I could kind of, instead of this pointy, jagged thing coming in, I'm going to try to move it so it looks a little bit more wavy. Even if I get close to the color. I've been painting, how long have I been painting for? Man, I used to just doodle a lot when I was a kid, but I remember my friend was going to buy a painting from one of those general stores that makes furniture. It was a print. And I was like, I'll make you a painting. And it was an elephant. I think that was in like 2000 or something. Maybe not. No, that wasn't 2000. I have to probably, like, I've been teaching, I don't know. I have no idea. This is a funny question. I think painting and all of that has been, you know, doing it for years. Drawing, painting. Let's say 15 years, 10 years. I'll have to look at that. I have a bad memory. So I just did a couple little different lines there. What year is it anyways? 2020. Right? There's a lot of iced tea out there. Orange, vanilla, Coke Zero. I saw that at the grocery store. Dr. Pepper on ice. That is pretty good. I gotta say. My drummer absolutely loves Dr. Pepper. Mr. Greg Williamson, he is the Dr. Pepper king. It's kind of cherry, right? It's like a cherry cola. There. So there's my other color. Remember I said I was just going to kind of mix it up so it's not so pointy in that one direction there. And I could give a little neat little offshoots up here, some little tiny guys. Maybe this is some neat little backgrounds coming in. And another thing we can do too is that if you wanted to, you can do some really nice little highlights kind of coming in here. Catherine, yeah, you could come in and watch this later. It'll be up on my Facebook thing. I think it'll be up on YouTube too. So it will be there. Okay, this background's looking pretty good. Anybody want to post a picture? I'd love to see your progress right now so I can see where everybody is. I might do a couple little more just to fill up this little area. Oh, I lost my color because I changed it up. I gotta make it again. So that this color here was just a blue, a tiny bit of black and some white, mostly blue. You don't want to go too dark. You go too dark, we're gonna miss this forefront, the foreground of our really dark leaves and the twigs and all that stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna come in and just do a couple that's too blue. So see how I backed off that right away? I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't like that color. Too blue again. Check it in here. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Little tiny leaves. Yeah, that'll probably match up. I can even decorate some of these with that color that I just used as well. You kind of just skip over them. What do we got? I could set up auto-saving vids on my Twitch streams. I would love to do that so it could kind of sit in there. I just kind of let this thing run on Twitch today. I have to go in and still build the account, and I have no idea what to do on Twitch. I was reading about those panels and stuff, and I'm operating out of a third-party software that kind of restreams it to all these things. So I'm able to do these overlays and stuff. I think that's super important. So you can see the little painting that I'm doing. And then I kind of make it like a show. I have some show stuff. We have the game show. And then I have a Planet of Facts, which is my very own little animal show. I think that is super fun because I've always wanted an animal nature show. So I'm just kind of editing and making these little vids, making this fun. More of a fun little program. And I was gonna do good news, some good news, like, you know, we're hearing about all this crazy news in the news about stuff going on in our world, but we don't hear a lot of good news. I thought of a really good one yesterday. I was like, you know, we haven't being forced to wear clogs during quarantine. That's a really good news thing there, because our feet would hurt a lot if we had to wear clogs. The other thing is that spiders have not evolved to be the size of vehicles or small boxes. Anything over a spider, 6 inches is giant. They are still small. Same with roosters. Roosters aren't the size of houses. If chickens were the size of houses, we would probably be eaten by roosters and chickens all day. They just come in and gobble us up. So that's some good news. What else? Anybody got some good news they can put into the comments there? I like this. This is looking really fun now, actually. Okay, so you can't post pictures in the comments. That's cool. I'll figure a way how to kind of get it so that we can share our pictures and see where progress is. I think that'd be cool. Then I could kind of give, you know, some suggestion if you want. But we're just kind of making our own stuff right now, right? This is our background. I'm going to fill some of these little spots with some darker little guys. And I might want to bring this one up a little bit. Right in here, because we're going to have that branch come right over here. Okay. So I'm going to bring it up just so it's a little higher and kind of cut into this area afterwards. I think that'll look really cool. Looks like he's in a tree, stuck in some stuff here. Cool. I am enjoying this. Now we're going to do our other little things there. So this is going to be our darker branches and stuff like that. And it's the same idea. We're just going to be a little bit more specific with it and get a little bit tighter on the lines. In the meantime, while you guys are catching up on that, how about we play a little game? This is my game, so put your paintbrush down, and it's my game of Would You Rather. So what you could do is comment in the comments on what you would rather. There's some funny ones there. Here we go. So that is it for my Would You Rather. Thanks for playing along. I'm reading these comments as they're coming in. Mosquitoes are probably wondering where everyone went. Totally. They are definitely wondering where everybody went. We don't have them yet, though. They're all sleeping here. Um, just checking my cam here. I got to watch the battery life on that because I will need to change this over at some point. So what else we got here? We got Laughs, Monster Truck. Yeah, I'm going with the Monster Truck. I think that one is super fun. These are hilarious. Thanks for playing. That's my fun little break, and it's a game show. So, okay, we are going to start to build our second branches here, right? And then we're going to boogie on to our ladybug and our cute little firefly. So let's build this up. Now I'm going to use a little bit more black with my colors, and I'm going to be a little bit more specific too when I'm doing the leaves. So the first thing that we want to do is actually set our branch. We want to know where our branch is going to go. So mine is actually coming in. We want to come in from this bottom corner and then bring it down. We want to keep it, don't go above half with the whole branch, I'd say. Like, I think that I went a little bit high on this guy. And it doesn't look too bad, but if you want to kind of bring it up to the edge here, right? Not so much half, just a little under. So we're going to do the same idea. I'm going to have a drink of water. The hair on wasps, or wasp. Are you talking about like the hair on the wasp? Like little bee hairs? Or are you talking about the 80s hair on wasps? The band wasp. Right, I'm just cleaning my brushes off. You don't want to leave them in your water or else they get too funky. So this part's a little easier. We're going to use that blue that you have. We're going to darken it up with a little bit of black. I might add a tiny bit of yellow in it to get some bluey yellow going on. If you add a little bit of white, that's going to take away that saturation of the color. But this is pretty dark, right? It's not quite black, but it's pushing there. We want it to really pop out. Let's check out this color here. I'm just going to pull a little bit of a line. That's pretty blue. I'm going to add a little bit more black in there and a tiny bit of white. Not too much. 80s man. Hair metal was pretty amazing. I think I was just a kid when it was like going out, but man, did I love playing some hair metal songs on my guitar. I just thought they were the coolest. I was like, this stuff is so crazy. Loud guitar solos. It was pretty nuts. 80s was nuts. Looking back, I was like, what is going on? What happened? Some of the funniest stuff is to go into like, look up 80s malls and stuff. Okay, here's my color. Now that I got it mixed up, I'm going to actually kind of get it off of my brush so it's not packed in there. I don't want too much on my brush. Again, I am folding my brush into my palette so that I can get a nice big flat brush on there, right? I want the bristles to roll into each other. So I get a nice sharp little edge. Then I'm going to come in and I'm just going to give myself a line right across to where my awesome little branch is going to go. Now we could darken this up after if we like, right? We're going to do, because we want to get some shading on there. We're going to do some highlights. A little bigger on the bottom, right? And then we're going to thin it out as we get to the edge. So it kind of tapers off. Make it big enough that you don't want it too thin. If it's too thin, the little ladybug doesn't have a lot to stand on. So we want to give him a nice little home. I'm going to bring this edge up a little bit. You can see how I'm thickening it up, right? And now it's getting to a nice little thickness on there. I actually think that's quite good sitting. Might do a little bit thicker. Shall we go a little thicker? Okay. There we go. All right. Okay, now from this branch, imagine that, or yeah, that's good enough. Our little ladybug's going to be right in here. We can do some little tiny branches as well. So you can switch up your brush to do this. I'm going to use my little shader brush. Just pop a little bit of water on there, load it up, and then I'm going to make a little branch kind of shooting off this way, right? Something like that. And then I could do another one and bring this down and off of the scene. I'm going to bring it right out, just like that. Then you can add a couple little leaves to it. If you're comfortable, you can still use this brush, or you can switch up to your liner brush. There we go. So I'm going to give this a little leaf. That's where a leaf is going to shoot off. I'm going to have a little leaf shoot off here. And that'll kind of come down. I could do another little shoot off in this area, like so. Okay, so where did my liner brush go? That's hiding underneath my canvas. So I'm going to show you how to use this. I just put some water on it just to kind of wake the bristles up. And still going to use that color that we were using. And if I was using this brush, you can just kind of outline your leaf, right? And then just kind of attach it. It's a cute little guy right there. Two cute little leaves. I can do the same. I'm going to turn this over. Let me bring that off too. Do the same for this. I can do a little leaf kind of hanging down. I'm going to cut my edge. And I'm just going to point it out at the bottom. I'm going to drag this little leaf. Let's say this branch came behind here. And then I could bring him like that. And this leaf is coming right off the frame. Same with these guys. No leaf. I don't like that. I'm going to thicken this up a wee bit too. So I'm going across. Excuse me. I'm going to get this closer to me now. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for coming, Janny Puff from Twitch. And yeah, I don't come back and check her out after. Here we go. Got some leaves. Boom. Okay, there we go. So I'm happy with that branch. I might want to give it one of those little things kind of sticking out over here, right? I can give it some character. That actually gives us an opportunity for some shading after we do some highlights and stuff. Excuse me. So this bottom area isn't going to get too much of more of like these branches and leaves. What we're going to do is kind of focus on the top area of these dark leaves. And that gives us the idea that underneath goes down, right? Instead of really closing it in. I'm actually going to make this leaf a little bigger here because we got to think of the size of ladybugs and leaves. This would be a giant ladybug, but still, doesn't matter, I guess. It's just a painting. We're not going for exact ratios and size of everything. But going a little bit bigger is kind of nice and easy to do. I'm going to bring that in and attach that right there. Okay. So let's start doing our other leaves here. Now this is going to be a little interesting. We don't want it to kind of come in, and let me bring up the picture here of the ladybug. We don't want it to come in and like start pointing everywhere. We might want some different stuff. So the leaf in that corner, we could kind of float it up a bit. And like if we think of our ladybug is kind of sitting here. We could make a leaf that's kind of going above him a bit, right? So we could do a nice little line kind of coming like that. And then this leaf, we could kind of lay it down. It's like maybe an umbrella sitting over our cute little ladybug after. Now all of our leaves are going to get a little bit of a treatment. Not all of them, sorry. Some of them, the ones closest to our subjects are going to get a little bit of treatment as far as we're going to put a little bit of glow on them. So it looks like there's some reflection from our firefly. Okay, now I'm going to decorate this too. We are going to kind of offshoot it. Let's stagger our little branches and then our leaves. So I'm just doing the outline and then I'm pushing down with my brush as I'm filling the leaf, right? So I'm coming in. You can make your leaf, bring it around, and then just push down with your brush. Your pressure of your brush will push the bristles out so you can get a nice fill. Now you can also use, like when I get into these little spots, if I want to do something specific and want a bit more stability, I'll use my pinky on the edge here and I can kind of hold my hand down and actually get a nice little steady pull. So you can use your pinkies, just make sure you're not putting it into the wet paint or something like that. I've gotten pretty good at understanding where my stuff is now. I'm going to do another little guy. Pull him up. It's a fun little leaf. And just a little branch kind of walking down. There we go. Maybe just a twig. And then let's give him a bigger one right here. You can always reference leaves. I think that's the cool thing. We're basically referencing what I'm doing right now, but if you want to look at some angles of leaves, just Google, you know, leaves. If you can go outside or look out your window, you can do that too. Leaves and branches, just a little bit of reference. So these two are pretty close to the same. I should have had a little bit of variation there. It doesn't matter. Okay, now I'm going to come in and do some bigger leaves on the edge of this. Just to kind of fill that corner in a bit. Do that. I'm going to pull this in like that too. These are poking out from somewhere else. There we go. Very nice. This is a fun painting actually. Okay. Okay, we got those ones going on. That's going to look really cool because I'm going to put my ladybug right here. And then my firefly is going to be right here. So if it's a little lower, we can have some of his light reflecting on the bottom of these leaves here, which will look really cool. It'll look really, really nice. Okay, I'm going to bring in a branch that kind of floats in from down on this side. We can go right over our subject. Hello, Morgan. How are you doing? How is everybody doing out there as well? How is the painting coming? Sorry, I'm just mixing up some stuff. Yeah, I wish I could see your pictures. I wish you could see, like, post your pictures in the thread. I had some good suggestions there. I'm going to go take a peek after. Okay, so what we want to do is we're coming in and we're going to do some more little leaves and twigs and fun stuff. This is obviously going to be the one kind of over our ladybug. This one I'm gonna kind of open the scene up. I'm just gonna test it out and see what it looks like when I'm just kind of floating right in this area. I'm not gonna get too bonkers because I just want to maybe make this a little heavier. And Desiree, awesome. She says good. Love those short answers. How you doing? Good. Okay, now I'm going to decorate this little branch, right? You could be a little further away, maybe. I'm going to do some smaller little leaves on him. And I'm always giving my brush a little bit of a curl at the end on my palette, just so that I can get the bristles to kind of roll into each other when I grab more paint. But notice I'm grabbing paint every time I'm doing a leaf. It doesn't take long. It's just kind of a thing that you can get into. And that way you have a loaded paintbrush and you're not pushing down to get more paint or something like that, right? I could do a little bit more on this. Maybe this has another branch coming through this way on there. So I could do a little tiny leaf. Little buds on this guy. I think that would be nice. Do a little bud on there, right on the tip. Excuse me. Now I'm going to do a couple more little leaves kind of coming in from the corners here, right? Man, this is looking fun. I am going to do a big leaf. And then I'm going to bring one in this way. They're kind of touching each other, which is fine. Okay. I'm going to bring in another leaf that kind of comes down like this. A little bit of a top on her. This one you can kind of break up the direction a little bit. I am enjoying this though. This is a really, really cool little painting right now. Starting to look good. Leaves are really neat looking. Thank you. I'm using acrylics. Yeah, if we were using oils, this would be a long video because you have the drying time and everything. So acrylics are easy to use as far as your drying time and all that kind of stuff. Makes it for a little bit of a faster process. Okay, so I'm gonna start pulling in this side now. I don't want to come in and point this out too much. So what I might do is just come in and build this corner up and maybe have my leaf stop right about here. I'll have it kind of split off into two. I could do two little leaves, right? And that'll be a little different from the other guys. But we're gonna fill up this area. So it looks like you might be having a little bit of a shelter or something cool. Who knows? Have you guys picked out a name for your Ladybug and Firefly? I have not. Maybe I can get a suggestion, and then after, I will give these guys a little name. Okay, more leaves. What we're doing. More leaves. I'm going to put this over here so you can see my little leafy process. Remember, you don't want to go, I kind of went pretty dark there with my black and my blue, but you can always lighten it up a bit if you don't like, darken it up. We are going to do some like reflective light from our sources here. We kind of want to close in the scene, right? Want to make it look that everybody's having a little peek at our ladybug after, right? I'm just going to roll right in there. Now you can see where that contrast is, right? From the background to the front. That's why we wanted to keep it a little light, because if we went too dark, we might lose some of this foreground stuff. But, Scraggles, the ladybug. I like that. That's a fun one, actually. Okay, Scraggles. This made me laugh again. It's a funny name. More leaves. I'm going to bring one in just right up in here. This is coming from somewhere else. You could do a bunch of little guys too, just kind of floating around, right? Doesn't really matter. We're just having fun kind of decorating our scene. Bell and Flint. I like that. That's fun. Spot or Star for the ladybug, or for, oh, Spot and Star. Sorry. I like that. That's good. Some good names, guys. Cool stuff. I'm gonna name mine. We'll see if we get some more. I'll make a decision. It definitely gives your painting a little life. I'm gonna have a little hangy stuff kind of coming in here. I'm gonna close up this corner too, just so it looks like it's a little bit more condensed. I think that'll look fun. Same with this corner. I'm gonna frame it in a little bit. All right. So I think this is looking pretty fun. I don't know. I'm struggling to think if I want to build this up a little bit more. Maybe a couple little more leaves in here. Tiny little guys. We do another little branch. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do a tiny little branch just to get this in. Just fill all that stuff. There we go. Okay, how are we doing for speed? How's everybody doing on the painting? Hopefully you're carrying along, having a time. I can tell you that I'm having a time. There, that looks pretty cool. I think that we're done with our background there. We'll just kind of let that dry. I might do a couple more. In the meantime, I really do like, in my spare time, my YouTube time, I think it's super fun to watch old bad commercials. It gives you a little bit of a look into the past, and you can see how what people were like and what they did and how they advertised to people. I think that's a really important thing, is to see how people were advertised to by these companies. So this is my commercial videos.
Let's go back in time and get ready for another episode of This Old Commercial. Thanks for watching another episode of This Old Commercial.
There it is. It was an old V-dub commercial, and he just whistled in a lady. That's what he did. Took out his flute and made things happen. He was a magician. It's a pretty fancy flute. What is it if you had that flute? First thing I would make? First thing I would flute in. Oh man, if it was unlimited. Maybe that's the best thing, the magic flute, instead of a genie, because with the flute you could just keep going. The genie, you only get 3, and you gotta try to trick them into more. I think that's what you do. You trick them. Or they trick you somehow, right? So I'm just cleaning off my brushes right now. Because we're gonna start our ladybug. We're gonna get on this now. We can actually make this happen. And the brush that I'm going to use mostly for the ladybug is really going to be my liner brush, and I'm going to use my shader brush as well. But these guys are nice and clean. And we're going to just kind of bring this in. I want to make sure I got my colors right. Still have some white, black, and I got some red now. So I put a little bit of red on my little palette here. And what I'm going to do is I kind of want to look at where I'm going to put this ladybug. He's basically like a little dewdrop, right? He's like a little water drop kind of shape. So you could even use a little bit of water just to, it'll show up on your canvas just to kind of see and give you an idea of how big you want this guy to be in your painting. Now here's our center. So I'm going to actually bring him off center to the left side a bit. We're going to make this little dewdroppy thing. So I want to block out the dark background. So I'm just using my red and a little bit of white here, and then I'm going to actually kind of sketch out my little ladybug. Now start smaller. It's way easier to come in and start small, and you can always expand it. So if I started, I could do something like that, right? And you'd be like, I'm actually going to expand this a little bit. So you could come in and just expand it as you're going. So what I'm going to do is he's about this high, I'd say. We're going to give him a cute little round body. I'm going to bring it down. I want him to be under this leaf a little bit too, that leaf. I think that's really cool. Gets a little bit in there. And see, I'm just using my pinky a little bit just to kind of give me some stability. It's totally fine. Painting with a floating hand is really hard. And then I'm just going to kind of, he's like a little bun. Look at this cute guy. He's just kind of sitting there. Okay, there's our little bun. And then this little line we're going to pull in kind of like there. So that's the shape of our ladybug, right? Actually, you know what? I'm going to go a wee bit bigger. I'm going to bring this edge down so it's not as round. Like that. And I like this edge coming up like that. I don't know, is that a cool size? Yeah, I'm going a little bigger. I go about there on the whole thing. So then I'm going to bring this down. And this kind of like that. There. Okay, now this line is the same. I'm just going to fill it in. So you can switch up to your little shader brush. And fill all of that red. We're going to shade it up and darken it up as we go. If you're battling with, like if you're seeing the background of that dark blue, you can come back, let it, like do a thin layer, let it dry. You can use a plate or anything, and then hit it again. But doing like a thick layer to get rid of the background color is just going to get muddy. And that's exactly what happens. It gets muddy. So once we get that on, what we can do is kind of sketch out where our eye is going to go too. Now his eye is a really simple shape, but it makes it look like really, really fun when we add a little bit of highlights and character to it. So I'm just using a little bit of a light red here just to kind of show you, oh, I guess it's just gray. But I'm going to give him like his little cute little teardrop eye thing, right? And then this eye just kind of gets really big and nice and bubbly on the bottom. Make him cute. And just kind of sits something like that, right? It's like a teardrop or a hook almost. If you don't look at the eye and as a whole, it does look like a little, like a pearl or something, whatever those little earrings are called. Like that's our shape. And then this in the center is going to come down. It's going to be black. So we could fill in the eye if you want right now. We can always adjust it. I'm just going to use a little bit of, I'm going to give some reflection of the firefly in the eye too. But our first one, I'm just going to make like a nice medium gray. I want to be able to see it. I don't want it too light. And then I'm just going to go over this stuff. So that is a too light gray for me. I'm going to come in and I'm going to make it a little bit more. Let's go about here. There's a nice gray. I'm kind of liking that actually. There it is. Remember, we can adjust with our black after. And there's also, I can use the same color on the outside of his little eye. I actually should have moved that up a tiny bit. Look nicer. On the outside, we're going to give him a little bit of a teardrop like that. So we can see the other eye. Okay, so we got that on. That's going to be all black in the center, but we're going to do some little touch-ups here and there. What I want to do is kind of come in and I'm going to add some shading and stuff to this little ladybug. So I'm grabbing my red again. I'm just going to show you in a little spot here. I'm grabbing my red and I'm put a little bit of black down here. I'm just going to make a different little red in here. We're going to use white too to kind of highlight as we go up on the top. So here's this color in that center area. Now I think that I want to calm down that really nice bright saturation. So let's see how that looks. A little bit more black as we come to the bottom. Gonna get right in there. We're gonna shade in some stuff after as well. But we want to get this on first, and then what we can do actually is put on our little ladybug dots. We're getting this going. Here we are. Oh my lord, that looks pretty fun. There we go. So now we're shading it up, right? Because this back part is going to be way darker. The front part is going to be all shiny because that's where our light reflection is coming off of our firefly. So we're going to keep that in mind, right? I think that I'm getting paint all over my arm. I am. I'm going to grab a little bit of white as I get to the top. Not too much. I'm going to start to lighten this up and see how I kind of took away of that like really bright, brilliant red that I was using. I don't even know what kind of red I grabbed there. But it was really, really bright. In the very top, we could come in after and we'll add some highlights with the colors that we want once we get there. But his ring around his face might have a little bit of character there. And then we could just adjust it a little bit, right? Bring that color in, a little darker on the back. And then we're going to really darken it up as we move down. Very cool. I'm just going to clean this up right here a wee bit. Kind of lost its shape a bit. Here we go. I'm going to bring in the picture so you can see that as well. There it is. So this one is like that. I did that on a Procreate actually. So like I said before, matching our colors is sometimes difficult using acrylics. But that's kind of the fun thing, is that, you know, you're going to get some neat stuff coming out of these. Okay, fixing up his edge here. There we go. So, and notice how I'm like blending the actual edge of this this color here, right? That's exactly what I want to do, just to get a little bit of flow in between the colors. So it doesn't just look like it's like, you know, red and then black. We want to have a little bit of blend going on. It doesn't have to be too crazy. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't look for like the perfect gradient coming in. Okay, I'm just going to use some black now. I'm going to put a little bit of white in it just to knock off that full darkness. It's going to be like a, probably like a gunmetal. And then I'm going to fill in his cute little head area. So I'm going to teardrop this out on the edge, and then I'm going to bring it in. There we go. This is where we're going to bring him to life. We're going to use the same color for his little spots on his back too. Or her back. Whatever you want. This is your ladybug. Not mine. Well, this one is mine that I'm painting. Okay. Now we want to do a nice little eyeball-y thing in here. That's how he came in and just cut into it. And then we're going to bring his little teardrop down. Keep him, you want it to be up a little bit because that's where Ladybug is going to be looking. And I'm just going to bring this in a little wee bit. And finish the edge. Okay, there's the start of our cute little ladybug. All right, I need a little sip of my water here. It scared me. I didn't have a thing going on my my live button. I thought I was off. I was like, oh no. Okay, got that going on. Now I'm gonna take we're gonna look at his eye. I'm gonna do a little bit of a darker gray right on the bottom of his eye, and then we can put in a little bit of a light shiny mark. Give it like that life. But here I'm coming to the bottom edge, and I'm just gonna bring in a little bit of this, just to kind of lighten it or put a little bit more depth in his eye. Then you could grab, actually just wait for that to dry so we don't smudge it out. We're gonna use that same color that we used on his face, and you can do his little bumps. You can give him one on the top, or sorry, his little spots. Watered that down a little much. So I'm just gonna come in and build this little tiny spot here. And I'm gonna do one right on the back, and I'm just coming to the edge. I'm just starting it. I'm doing these little half circles. And I'm gonna do another one right in the center here, like so. It's just a fun little circle. Don't make it perfect, because give it some character. I'm actually gonna fix this one up a bit. I'm gonna bring it up and over. You could do more spots if you like. There, I think he's looking pretty cute. But he doesn't have that little flare in him yet. So that is actually gonna be when we come in and cut in our reflection, and we're gonna do some more little highlights and stuff. We can darken them up. But just adding a little bit to the eye is going to bring this up so much. So we can let that kind of sit for a bit. Why don't we start? You know what? While you're painting your ladybug, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my little ladybug show. So this is a planet of facts.
We live on the most amazing planet in our universe, and there's so much for us to learn. Let's dive in and explore the planet of facts.
Ladybugs and fireflies.
Ladybug, we all know who you are. We've probably all done a school project on you at some point in time. I remember when Little Miss Know-It-All told me that they aren't all ladies. You're a tough little guy. You're like a tank covered in tulips, keeping the aphid population at bay so we can have our carrots and peas. Besides that, you're one of the most beautiful insects in the world, and this has kept you from the underside of children's shoes. And if someone did step on you, they were a real jerk, and they didn't get invited to birthday parties. So Ladybug, we love you. We're just going to talk about someone else this time. We're going to talk about a little thing that has captured our imagination for millennia. Fireflies. Deep in the woods or in tall grass, you might be able to find some fireflies. And if you do, you will experience one of nature's most luminant dances. There are more than 2,000 species of fireflies in the world, and each species has its own pattern of light flashing. This is how they communicate with each other. Little blinking bulbs of light asking what's for dinner and how the game was the other night. And one of the most amazing and mysterious things these guys can do is that they can sync their flashing. But not all flashing is friendly. Some females will flash to attract males and then eat them. So with all these blinking lights happening, the males have to be pretty careful.
Hello. Hi. Hi.
Watch out, buddy. Fireflies are disappearing though, and this is due to a number of factors. Habitat destruction, pesticides, agriculture runoff, and light pollution. Some of these species are so sensitive to light that they will actually wait for a moonless night to come out and play. And if a firefly's field is paved over, they won't just migrate to another one, they disappear forever. So let's help them out. When the time is right, let's turn off our lights so we can see theirs.
There it is. Planet of Facts. I hope you learned some stuff. So naturally after that we have to start our firefly, right? What we are going to do, True Facts, Art After Dark edition. It's true, yes. Those are really fun to make. You gotta end up reading about these cute little subjects that we're doing, and then I'm learning stuff, right? That's important. So we're gonna do our cute little firefly. That's what's up next here. Then we're gonna start working on some shading and all that other stuff. I'm gonna bring in my my little ladybug in the corner here. I'm gonna put this up here. Maybe make it a wee bit bigger. There it is. Okay, so what we want to do is we're gonna make the bulb of this cute little firefly first. I mean, this is just a cute illustration, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some, I still have, look how messy my plate is here. I'm going to use a little bit of white and the yellow, and then I have some green left over here. So I might just grab a smidge of green and just drop that in and see what happens. Just a smidge. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the bulb of this little guy. Grabbing some more white, and there we go. I'm also going to use this color for the rest of the fireflies in the background. So let's take a look at his eyes. And then we'll put his little bulb, right in here. Oops, got to give this a little roll. And yeah, we can kind of get in and make it nice and round. It's like a light bulb, I guess, right? So that's a fun little shape there. We can do a highlight on that after. Now, I'm just going to use this color so you can see what I'm going to do. What we're going to do is give him his little head. Kind of like there, right? That looks cool. Then it just connect it to his body. So what we want to use is a little bit of black. So for that, we can add some more black, tiny little bit of white in it if you want, just to calm it down a wee bit. And then we can come in. Actually, you should do the other stuff, but I just want to teach how to make this little guy first, and then you could come along and paint the rest of your fireflies. So I'm just going to do a little circle, kind of two little circles. Right? He's going to get some eyes after. Just going to do something like that, and then I'm just going to attach it to his little bulb there. And there's this cute little thing going on. Now I'm just going to kind of take some of the paint off of the paintbrush. There's not so much in it. I'm just going to lightly come in and lightly make these little legs kind of hanging down. So he looks just adorable, right? Looks like an insect. Okay, so I think that is a cool little guy. we can give him some eyes and life after. Clean off your brush really well. Sometimes when I'm doing paintings, I'll have a light brush and a dark brush, so I don't have to worry too much about getting everything out. But I'm going to come back to that color that I used for his butt. And I am going to paint the rest of my little fireflies here. So these are just going to be circles, and we're going to make them glow. So imagine that some of them are in the background, right? They're all floating around in the scene. They might be hanging out with some buddies. Some little tiny dots too is okay. Some medium dots. You just don't want to go too big, too large. I'm going to do some dots down here because they'd be all hanging out like we learned in the tall grass and in the woods. Some hiding up in here. I think that's looking pretty magical. I would love to go down to the States and see some of those areas where those fires are. They're pretty good in Ontario, though, I think. Some places. Ontario has some interesting little creatures. I think we're there and we've floating into a venue to play a musical show, and there was a snapping turtle hanging out. Oh, so I think my canvas cam still going. No, my canvas cam is done. Okay, so I need to change the battery on there for a second. I'm just gonna take a little peek, and then if that's the case, yes, I'm just gonna play some classical music, and I'm gonna change this out. I'll be right back. I'm back. Let's check out this canvas cam here, make sure she's hooked up. Just gotta give her a little focus. And there we are. We are in business. I'm painting some pictures. How do you like the classical music? So we have in Kansas, they are beautiful in the summer. What is it all summer? Like what months are there they really going? I just gotta turn this music down. It's nice though in the background. And then that's what they were talking about. I was reading some articles about like communities actually making sure that their porch lights and stuff were off during these mating season so that they can, see each other. It's unbelievable what light pollution actually is and what happens. The bounce off the atmosphere is nuts. And how much you're missing the stars. When you go in the country, man, you could stare at the stars for hours and hours. Just find super good stuff. Sorry, I had a hiccup there. I'm going to give this some little tiny dots just kind of floating throughout here. Be random too when you're making little dots. June through August. That's awesome. So these chats are a little slow, so I'm just trying to pick up on these. Okay. So, I got some dots going on. Now we can do some details, right? We could give him a little bit of some eyes, too. So I'm just going to use white. And these are like just tiny little like hooks. They're like little tiny hooks. So I'm going to come in. Little tiny hook there. And then I'm going to make just on the edge. I'm not going to do a full hook. Just kind of like what we did with the Ladybug there. Peak time end of July, beginning of August. This is in Kansas. I I'll make a drive down and check out some fireflies. And then the side of him, I just did a little loop, just a little line. Actually, I'm gonna fix that line because I think it took too much away from his face. So I'm gonna come back into his face and bring that down a bit. There we go. And actually make his pupil a little bit bigger because I took that away with my little hook there. So I'm just using my black, just pushing down in this area. There we go. Now he's cute. He's cute again. Big eyes. For his wings, I'm gonna use white, but I'm gonna water it down so that I could have like a transparent kind of white here. So here it is on my paintbrush. I watered it down. I'm gonna take some of it off, and I'm just gonna. It's kind of like the way that we were doing leaves. I'm just gonna come in and bring in a cool little wing that way. Could go a little bigger, I guess. I'm gonna pull this guy in on that side too. And bring him right in. And then you could come in and just remove some of the paint on your paintbrush with your napkin. And then you could just do a couple little lines just to kind of fill it in a bit so it looks kind of neat. And this is where you can adjust it too if you want. You can make them a little bigger. Yeah, that's cool. Then you can use white. Check this out. While it's here, we got some light color on our brush. Firefly bug face. Can you zoom in on the bug face? I can't really zoom in with this guy. But if I take this, here's the first one. I'll do this. I'll go to webcam. And I'll show you here. So here's my little firefly that I painted before. Maybe this one would be better. There we go. Firefly. His face is really easy. It's just like he's just like a hanging legs, and then we just drop down, you know, a couple little legs hanging there, and little tiny hooks for the eyes. It's just like the white part is what you're seeing of the eye. It's just that kind of that little loop. If you could see that better, but hope that helped. Just little dots. Okay, got this white on my paintbrush now, so we can use this white. This is the fun part. And we could bring his eye to life. So we could give him two... You can see that my white is drying up. I'm going to put some new stuff on it. 2 little dots. And that is really going to bring this guy to life, right? So, we'll open this back up again. Okay, little tiny dot. I might do a little thing there. I'm going to darken up his pupil again after. So this is looking like something now. It really is. We have to do, now we're at the stage where we can do our highlights and all that stuff. Before we get there too, a fun little thing, I can grab my little shader brush, and we have that, I can make a dark gray, and what I can do with it is do a little bit of an accent on his little black dot, so it looks like there's some reflection and character there. So I just put some light gray on my brush, and I removed it so that this is kind of called dry brushing, so that there isn't all that pigment stuck inside of it. It's still there, you know, like it's still hanging out, but it's not a lot, it's not a chunk. And then we could do that to the dark area in here as well. Just right on the top, there'd be a little bit of a sheen from where this light's gonna bounce. I took off more on my napkin, and then I could come in and kind of, you know, give him a couple little marks and some character. Give him a little character. Maybe just a small one in the background. Okay, so that was fun. We're gonna carry on with our liner brush too. We're gonna use them for all our shading and highlighting actually. I'll just use the corner when I'm coming in to do some highlights. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to use the white and give the back of his little bulb a little nice white mark. And then we're going to make this thing glow up. Cool. Okay, so this firefly is sitting in here. He's going to glow out, and he's going to have light reflecting everywhere, right? So especially under here, this front part of our ladybug, some of this leaf, we can add some reflections to these leaves around here, but we could bring this up a little bit, illuminate it. This log, check this out. So we have this little stick here. So right behind this area, there won't be as much as a shadow, but this area in here, there'll be a little bit of, there'll be shadow there, and this will be a little bit of reflection. We're also going to come in and we're going to darken this up. We can dry brush. We can dry brush over that dark part to darken his body up a bit. And then we're going to use that color that we're going to use to do for the glow. We're going to just lightly dust in that. So dry brushing, you're just getting some of the pigment on that you're using. So here's my pigment. I'm going to do that glow color, which was yellow, white, and a little bit of green, right? Just a tiny bit of green. See what color you got. Don't load up your brush too much, though. Don't get too much in there. And so here it is on my brush, right? Got it there. I'm going to take this off on my napkin, and then so there's a little bit of pigment in there. That's what I'm going to work with. Now, just to try this out, I'm going to come in and just do like lightly dust where we get some reflection on that stick. Come in light. If you come in hot and you have too much paint on it, you're just going to do a big streak of color. So there's a little bit of reflection there. I could lighten it up even more as I get closer to it. I'm going to do a little one in here. And then I could start kind of putting this reflection on the ladybug. He's going to show up more in the black area. As soon as you run out, you grab a little bit more on your paintbrush and then wipe some of it off, and then lightly come in and you could kind of dust it on, right? Here we go. Dusting this on. And the texture will pick up from the canvas. I don't have enough on there right now. You can also do the other one where it's just kind of lay it down so it's kind of transparent with water a little bit. Too much, but that's not bad actually. That gives it a little bit of life. I'm actually going to use that right on the edge here. I'm going to put more green into it actually. Green and put some yellow, like a yellowy, bright yellowy, greeny. So I just used that green and I put a little bit of yellow in it and some white just to get a different little color happening. There we go. That's pretty fun. Dusty dust. This little leaf here is going to get a little bit of some glow color happening. Same with this one. Sorry, my shoulder's in there. Keep forgetting some of those things. And then we need to get this color on his face happening, right? Yeah, that's super fun. Grab a little bit more. I might just green this part up a wee bit. Maybe just a notch right in here. Little notch. And with this idea, I'm going to come in and I'm going to start glowing out some of these little guys. So let's start this. Remember, I get the paint on my brush. If I remove some of it, then you come in light. Come in light, do a little circle, little bit of pressure, and then you should get a cool little round transparent glow around these little guys. Always start light just to test out what you got on your brush. Come in too hot, you might get a giant bigger dot. You want this to be transparent, right? This is their little glows. But these back guys too, it's fun. You can actually just use your brush and give it a little bit of like a down movement or like to the side, and it looks like they're actually moving, right? If I just, instead of doing a circle, it's kind of standing there, you can give a little bit of a little kind of movement, just a little stroke, and it looks like there's something going on there. These two look like they're actually kind of flying away that way. This guy's having fun. Okay, there we go. Where is this coming from? That is looking pretty nice. Now, what I got on my brush right now, I'm actually going to use that to go around my firefly here. So just lightly, I'm going to go around his bum, his butt bulb. And then I'm going to, see it's a little yellowy, so that might be better on the outside more. And then what I'm going to do is kind of come in and use some white. And don't worry if you go, we can always go over him again, right? But look at that. Look how that brings it to life. We have a light source, right? And that is our little bug. I'm going to grab a little bit of white and do the same thing. Not too much, but just get a little closer to this glow. So it looks like it's just a little bit more powerful while we get right to the center here. But I am loving this painting. This is looking really good. Okay, so we can do some glows on these other little branches. We could come in and load up. And I'm gonna, oh, I got lots of paint on there. Again, I'm kind of using that light greeny color, and I'm just coming in too much. See? So I'm taking it off on my little guy. And then I can do some reflections on these ones, some light bounce. Just so it gives it some fun. You know, there's some things going on. There's light and there's life. That one's too far back. Maybe this guy, nah, he's too far back too from this one. Maybe there's a little reflection in there. We can use, if you want to get really into it, you can use like a lighter bluey green color and reflect some of these background leaves that they're kind of hanging out in, which would make more sense. I mean, this guy's right in front of us, so this is going to be his leaf. This is his zone. These other ones are kind of sitting in the background with these leaves. So you can totally come in and highlight. I'll do that. I'm just talking about it. So I'm going to use the, what was it? A little bit of the blue, some white, and a little, we could put a little yellow in there. And then we just want a lighter color of this, right? More white. Okay, here, I got a light color. It's kind of a gray. So where was he? Let's do, I said this guy. So maybe this one we can do a little bit of a, too much. I think that was too much. Too much white in that. That's a big difference, right? We just want a subtle difference. There. This guy, probably a little reflection on that. You know. We can do something up in these leaves. How about this little leaf in here? Yeah, it makes a little bit of a difference, right? There's a nice little subtle thing going on. This leaf down here. And that wasn't in my original painting either, right? I just kind of playing as I'm going. So there, those leaves have a little bit of reflection in the kind of middle ground there. We can darken up our branch here as well. So I'm just going to use more of a black with a little bit of white. Not too much white, because we're going to use this as like our little shadows. So I'm going to water this down a little bit. I don't want to dry brush it as much, but I'm going to take away the excess. I don't want my paintbrush loaded up. And I'm just going to come in and I'm going to darken some of these areas here, right underneath him. I can even bring this up into his body a bit. I want to darken some of this up. And then behind him is definitely going to have a nice shadow, right? Darken that up quite a bit, actually. And then underneath here, we don't want to get, whoops, we don't want to get too crazy with our shadows coming too high, right? This is going to be the underside of our branch. And this is going to add another depth to our painting as well. There's a little shadow in here, right? Because the light source is shooting down, but that is going to block it. It's going to be darker here, back here. I know I'll probably just darken this up more as we get further away the whole thing. Just kind of bring this down a bit, make a little U. And I'm going to bring this down into these guys. This is going to be really dark on this guy. And this bottom leaves, there's no light whatsoever. you don't want to go too crazy. This is just our branch, right? If you like, you could use some of this, and you could come in and darken up some of these areas too, if you like. Do some more shadows. And yeah, you could keep kind of plugging away with that stuff. Then you can do some more shadows in here, like so. I'm going to darken up some of these guys up in here too. Look at that top corner. How's everybody doing? Where are we at? We're almost done. We are coming to the final stages of this painting. And then I am going to have a healthy beverage of my choice. I don't know what it'll be. Maybe I'll make a smoothie. And we watched The Walking Dead. Does anybody watch The Walking Dead still? I do. It's my guilty little pleasure show. It just keeps going though. I think it'll never end. It never ends. Okay, this is looking pretty darn awesome. So I'm just gonna pull this in a bit more and get some of this off. There is my little painting there. It's really bright. There we go. I could take a picture of it. This one is a lot. When I'm looking at it here instead of the screen, it's a lot greener, greeny blue, for sure. And obviously the dark, you can, this gets a little bit more darker and down here. It's hard picking up on the camera. What else can we do? Let me just check some stuff here. There we go. I'm pretty darn happy with this painting right now, actually. I think it looks great. I don't know what happened there. There's not even maybe I was trying something out. I'm gonna darken that up, get rid of that. There we go. Just notice that little guy. Can't remember what I did. But there it is. There's our painting. You know, here's two of them side by side. I did that one a little bit bigger this time, right? And he had a little bit more of a hump. The other one had a more of a gradual approach to the back of his hump. And that is it. That is our painting. So, congratulations. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And that was a lot of fun. Remember that you can go to YouTube and subscribe to if you're doing this, please, because I want to get some followers on there and kind of build it up. And I also have a little virtual tip jar. If you guys had fun, I would appreciate it if you do. If you don't, no big deal. The other thing is a tip to me is also sending this out to people, sharing, starting a watch party, and yeah, just getting it out there. I'm having fun making these, especially my little Art After Dark, a Planet of Facts, and the little games and stuff. I'm going to continue to kind of make this flow better and build up some more stuff. So thank you very much, and I will see you next Saturday. Oh, before I go, there's some cool stuff. I have talked to some people, so I'm going to have different people come on the show, so I could do 1 or 2 a week, actually, maybe 3. Thanks, Don. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Angela. Thanks, Sue. I like the ta-da. Yeah, I'm glad you had fun. I think that's awesome. It's a good Sunday. So thank you very much, and I will be back. Hey, everybody. I am back again. I just wanted to say thank you so much for having a good, fun Sunday afternoon with me. Check out the socials on the bottom. If you can, please share it. And if you like, you could watch YouTube on the big screen. That's always fun. Also, sign up to my mailing list on the bottom there. Maybe it's popping up. But that'll give you some updates as to what I'm doing. And then, yeah, just be awesome. Be fun, be safe, be kind. Talk to you soon.